Hey guys, it's Marshall from Going Gear, and today we're going to take a look at a couple of lights from Spark. So we have the SL6S-800CW, SL6S-740CW. Pretty much the same light, different tints. Cool white, neutral white. And when we go outside, you'll see better what that means. We're going to open this up, show you what you get on the inside. User manual, just real basic information that you have on there. Compatible battery types, run times, all kinds of information like that. Here's the holster. Put that to the side. Show you better here in just a second. Here's a diffuser lens. Also show you that. Spare O-rings. Flashlight itself. So they already have the SL6. The difference between the SL6 and the SL6S is that the SL6S has the side switch only. So a lot of people didn't like or didn't see the point in having the rear switch because they like using the side switch. So they came up with these couple of models that have the side switch only. So that's what the SL6S means. So the holster that you get, nice little holster. I mentioned this in a couple other videos, but companies are getting better and better about the holsters they include. Nice heavy duty nylon holster, flap that goes over the top, loop that you can use to attach to your belt or pack on the back, protects it on the top and the bottom. Simple functional holster. If you happen to want to use a holster, if not, you can always throw it in your pocket or pack. Or you have a nice pocket clip on here that is also removable, so you can just pull that off if you don't want to use the pocket clip. So, diffuser lens. What that does is it spreads the beam out, and I'll show you what that means when we go outside. But just to show you how to replace the lens that's in there, you just unscrew the bezel like I did, and then just tap it on a surface is usually what I do, just to get that lens out. And then take the diffuser lens and put it right in there. Try not to get too many fingerprints on it. I try to hold it by the edges as much as possible. Pop it in there, put the bezel back on, and that's it. So we'll show you what that diffuser lens does when we go outside. But we're going to put the regular lens back on there. Put the bezel back on there. Alright, so that is the 800CW. We're going to go and pull out the 740CW as well. Since it comes with all the same accessories, we're just going to pull the light out and not explain all the accessories. Okay, so these lights are powered by either two CR123s or one 18650 battery. Really important note on the batteries. Two CR123s in my testing, if it can power it at all, it doesn't do it for very long. The turbo mode. So the turbo mode, which is the max output, 800 lumens and 740 lumens, if it can run it, it doesn't run it for very long. The batteries that I have seen that can run it are going to be high quality 18650s like the EagleTac 3100 milliamp hour using the Panasonic cells in there. The circuit is actually made to not cut in when there is a really high amperage draw, so when these are drawing a lot of power, the battery will keep on working and that protection cell won't cut in. So use high quality 18650s and you'll be able to use these lights to their full potential, and that honestly goes the same for any of the Spark 18650 lights. We've seen the same thing with pretty much all of them. So don't be surprised if two CR123s don't work or don't work for very long, or even the less expensive lower quality 18650s may do the same thing to you. So powered by two CR123s or one 18650. I've got a couple of 18650s here. Got those EagleTac 3100 milliamps, fully charged. Again, even if these batteries are not fully charged, sometimes it may not be able to power that max output, but it'll power the lower outputs no problem. So not really a huge deal. Alright, got the batteries in the lights. Almost. I get my motor skills to work tonight. I haven't been having a lot of luck with my hand-eye coordination. Sounds like I need to put a little bit of lubrication on that one. Alright, so the interface on these guys is going to be the same thing that you're going to see with pretty much every Spark light. You have this switch on the side, tap it, and you've got your constant on. Press it and hold it, and you have momentary. But the momentary, as you can see, is going to start cycling through the different outputs. The momentary is only for about a second or less. So if you tap it and release it, that's when you get your momentary. But if you hold it down for longer than that, you can see it'll start cycling through the different outputs. So it's going to cycle through 1, 2, 3, 4 different outputs, and when you see the one that you want, just let go and it's set to that output. Those are the 4 lower outputs. You have a 5th one, which is turbo, and the way to access that is to double click that switch and it'll go into the max output. Now I'll show you here in just a second. I'll put a couple CR123s in here just to show you what I mean about them not being able to power it. But you can see you've got this EagleTac 3100 milliamp 18650 in here, and it's running it no problem. It may eventually cut out because I mean it's drawing a lot of power out of there, but it does power it better than anything else we've seen. Same thing on the 740NW, just a different color to the LED. So press and hold, it'll cycle through the different outputs. Let go when you see the one you want. Double click for the turbo. Actually, there you go. So this battery is actually not fully charged. I had pulled this one off the charger. This one was not fully charged. So you can see the protection's kicked in and the battery is not powering the light. So if you just pull it out, put it back in. Guess I don't need to put 2 123s in here because this pretty well illustrates what I was talking about. And then you turn it back on, it'll still work. It's just when you try to go into turbo, the protection will cut in and you have to remove the battery. So just something to be aware of. You need high quality 18650s to power that the max output, and you need them to be pretty fully charged. But the lower outputs will work just fine. So you can see we'll cycle through. Even on the high, it runs that just fine, which is still pretty close to the max output. So definitely a good bit of light. So that's the interface on the SL6Ss. We're going to go and take both of these outside. We'll show you how they do outside, and you'll better be able to see what the 2 different tints do. Okay, we're outside with the 2 Sparks. Got the big 4D mag light. I'm going to try out the mag light first. There's a little bush 15 feet away, tree out there at about 100 feet. Really focused beam, doesn't light up a whole lot at once, but everybody knows these. Everybody probably has 10 of them sitting around their house. Alright, so first off we're going to try off the cool white. You can see this isn't even the max output. So this is the high output, which is a step down from the max output. Crazy amount of light coming out of this thing. Much smaller than that mag light, even much smaller than a lot of other lights that don't have this kind of output. And again, this isn't the highest output. That is. So you can see even more light coming out of this thing. Output on this thing is crazy for its size. And just to show you the lower outputs, really good for lighting up what's going on in front of you. I'll cycle through the 4 regular ones real quick, just so you can see what they look like. Different distances and everything. And then of course, that max output is just fantastic. For one thing, you can see how large the hotspot is. So that bright part in the center, really big, lights up a really wide area once, and the spill around it, still really, really bright. So it's lighting up pretty much everything in front of you. You know, obviously your peripheral vision and stuff off to the side over here is not going to be lit up. Whoops, I accidentally tapped it. But still does really, really well. Alright, let's try out the neutral white version. So again, low, up close stuff. And we'll let it cycle through the higher outputs, and then there's your max output. So you can see the color difference. A little bit better color rendering on this one, but you don't get quite the output that you get with the cool white. Keep on tapping those buttons on accident. Alright, let's try out a longer distance. Okay, we got the 2 Sparks, a little bit more distance to work with. Do the 4D mag light first. House at 50 yards, tree in the front yard at 100 yards. Doesn't make it out to the tree all that great. Let's try the Sparks. We're going to do the cool white first. So there it is. I don't know what output that is. That was actually one of the lowest outputs. Actually, that was the lowest output. So you can see on high, which is not the max output, does really, really well. Makes it out to the top of that tree no problem. And then the max output does even better. But there's the high again. We'll shine it around a little bit. Does really, really well. So that's the CW. Let's try the NW. I think that's actually low again. Pretty impressive throw for such a low output. But there are the 4 different outputs. We'll zoom in. The top of that tree again. Of course, high, again, no problem. Not quite the same throw, just because it doesn't have quite the output of the CW, but still pretty solid. And then the max output, just a little bit brighter. That's the Spark SL6S-800CW 740NW. If you like them, you can buy them from us at goinggear.com. Any questions or comments, you can reach us in the comments or at goinggear.com. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe. We put out a lot of flashlight and other gear videos. Thanks for watching.